Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we are diving into a fascinating topic that affects us all, whether we realize it or not. The psychology in marketing, sales, and tech. We are breaking it down into three different parts so you can fully understand the concepts at play and how they shape our decisions. We have got it all covered, so let's jump right in. What if I told you that the difference between a yes and a no could be as simple as adding a few extra words to your request? In today's fast-paced world, we often overlook the small details, but in sales and persuasion, those details can be a game changer. Let's break it down. Humans are pre-programmed to respond to certain triggers. One of the most powerful triggers is a reason. Just a simple because. When we hear a request followed by a reason, our minds are more inclined to comply. Let's compare these two requests. The first one is straightforward, asking for help. It's polite, but it lacks a compelling reason. The second, however, not only states the need, but it gives a reason, and that reason makes all the difference. Research shows that when you give a reason, even one as simple as because I need to catch the flight, the chances of getting a positive response jump from 60% to 93%. So, because plays a key role. You can easily predict which one of the images will gain more sales. Have you ever thought expensive means better? Maybe you splurged on a fancy meal or a luxury product, only to find out it wasn't worth the hype. So, why do we still believe that expensive equals good? Let's dive deep into the psychology behind this mindset and how it's used to influence us. This belief isn't just something we made up. It's been ingrained in us through various TV programs, marketing campaigns, movies, and even from our friends. Social psychologist Ellen Leger's research shows how we have been conditioned to associate higher prices with better quality. But where does this thinking come from? Our brains are wired to take shortcuts to simplify decision making. One of those shortcuts is the expensive equals good stereotype. When we see a higher price, our brain associates it with high quality, allowing us to relive the luxury lifestyles we see on screens. Over time, this becomes a habit, one that marketers are eager to exploit. Marketers know how powerful this shortcut is. By redesigning products to appeal to the masses, companies can sell items with the same composition at widely different prices. They rely on our lack of knowledge about the product's composition, the brand's management, or recent reviews to make us think that more expensive option is always the better one. But there is another layer to this: FOMO, or the fear of missing out. When a product's price suddenly doubles or quadruples, it triggers a sense of urgency. We think if it's so expensive, it must be good and I can't miss out. This mindset is especially dangerous in markets like crypto, where people bet on price alone without understanding the product. This psychology is what makes tactics like 70% off sales so effective. Even if you don't know much about the product, the price reduction feels like a steal, so you buy it. This is just one example of how cumulative neuromarketing techniques are used by developers, psychologists, and salespersons to influence our decisions. Imagine this: someone close to you says, "That's rude. How can you say those things to me?" Instantly, you feel a pang of sadness, maybe even guilt. But why? Why do these words affect us so deeply? The answer lies in our mind's intricate web of experiences and learning, especially from our childhood. These experiences create mental triggers, emotional hot buttons that can be pressed, knowingly or unknowingly, by the words and actions of others. But here is where it gets interesting. These same triggers can be and are exploited by companies to sell products. Consider this belief: expensive equals good. It's a trigger rooted in our desire for quality and status, something that companies have long understood and used to their advantage. Today, with advanced analytics, companies have unprecedented access to data about their customers' needs, mindsets, and habits. This data allows them to craft precise sales speeches, hitting those emotional triggers just right to drive sales. Take Byju's, for example, they have built a sales model that taps on parents' fears, fear of their children falling behind, fear of being judged by society. By analyzing these triggers, they have managed to acquire the trust of countless parents, convincing them that Byju's is the key to their child's success. And that's how they exploit the power of triggers to sell their services. Ever wondered why people splurge on high-end gym memberships or the latest fitness supplements? It's not just about health, it's about perception. One key psychological principle at play is the contrast principle. This principle explains how we perceive differences between two things when they are presented one after another. For example, if you first see a luxury item, the next item, even if it's still high quality, might seem less impressive by comparison. This is the contrast principle in action. In the fitness industry, this principle is used to great effect. Marketing often showcases idealized bodies. Think as six-pack abs and toned physique. When consumers see these idealized bodies, they naturally perceive their own bodies as less attractive or less desirable. This comparison drives the desire to achieve that ideal, making them more likely to purchase gym memberships, high-end equipments, or expensive supplements. To illustrate this contrast principle, let's look at a classic demonstration. Imagine you have 3 glasses of water, one cold, one at room temperature, and one hot. First, place one hand in the cold water and the other in the hot water. Then place both hands in the room temperature water simultaneously. Despite the water being the same temperature, the hand that was in the cold water will perceive it as warmer, while the hand that was in the hot water will perceive it as cooler. This demonstrates how our perception of stimuli can be influenced by previous experiences. In the world of marketing, understanding these perceptual biases allows companies to effectively target and manipulate consumer perceptions, driving sales and increasing revenue. By presenting their products or services in a way that leverages contrast, they can make their offerings seem more valuable, appealing, or necessary. Have you ever bought something that was a bit more expensive than you planned, but ended up loving it? Maybe it was a pair of eyeglasses, more than you budgeted for, but they looked great and the vision was crystal clear. Ever wondered why you walked out of the store happy, even with a lighter wallet? Curious about this, I visited an eyeglass store to see how they sell their products. The strategy was simple yet effective. First, they showed you some less appealing designs, nothing you would really want to wear. But then, when I asked to see something better, they brought out the best designs, stylish, modern, and exactly what would suit a face like mine. The salesperson said, "This one is a bit expensive, but it completely suits your personality and face shape. Plus, it's durable, flexible, stretch resistance, and offers UV protection, all included in the price." This is a classic example of the perceptual contrast principle at work. By showing you something mediocre first, the great designs seem more appealing. It's not just about selling you a product, it's about selling you on the value of the product. This principle works in other scenarios too, like comparing two similar cars. Show one with just basic features, and then one with added protection, guarantees, and services for a slightly higher price. And suddenly, the second one looks like a much better deal. Now you are forced on choosing between those two options rather than thinking about walking away. But here is where the psychology gets even smarter. After you have decided to buy the more expensive item, they offer you something small, like a cleaning spray. Just 99 for a spray worth 200, they say, and before you know it, you are adding that to your purchase too. It's all part of the strategy. Sell the expensive item first and then use the momentum to sell additional, lower priced items. By the time you walk out, you have spent more than you planned, but you are convinced you made the right choice. Have you ever noticed how hard it is to say no to a friend who once helped you or gave you something when you really needed it? Maybe your best friend lent you 100 rupees when you were in a pinch, or someone invited your family to their wedding. Now you feel almost obliged to return the favor. This feeling isn't just coincidence, it's the rule of reciprocity in action. When someone does something for us, we naturally want to return the favor. It's a deeply ingrained social norm that keeps our relationships balanced and harmonious. Now, what if I told you that the same principle is being used to sell products to you, especially on social media? Here is how it works. First, a creator or brand offers something for free. It could be a free course, an ebook, or valuable knowledge shared in a community. As an audience, you start to feel grateful, maybe even indebted to this creator. Without really noticing it, you received something valuable, and that subtle sense of obligation starts to build. Then the creator asks for a favor, or perhaps more cleverly introduces a product that now has a price tag. This is where the magic of reciprocity kicks in. Some of the audience members, feeling the unspoken debt, will buy the product, returning the favor in the form of a purchase. This isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding how human psychology works. The rule of reciprocity is powerful because it taps into our natural desire to give back to those who have given to us. And this principle doesn't just apply to strangers or brands. It's even stronger when it comes to people we know. Saying no to someone you have a connection with, someone who has helped you before, it's a lot harder than turning down a stranger. So that wraps up our first part. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more content. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next part.